Hello my friends and welcome back to Kev's Hobby Showcase. I'm of course Kevin. You may have also seen me on Tabletop Jones Productions where John and I are the two idiots playing board games, and now you could also see me on Kev's Hobby Showcase exclusive on Patreon. Yes, I'm going to be having exclusive videos on Patreon. The game videos will no longer be here, they'll be there. And today, well, might actually appear, what I'm doing today might actually appear there one day. I am continuing my painting of the new Battletech force that I've been putting together for the Black Remnant. So first I did Lance of Battle Mechs, did 4 vehicles. I did the platoon of the battle armor. Back to vehicles. So we have a pair of von Luckner tanks. Okay. It's probably the only tanks that look like conventional tanks, at least the only ones I've seen so far. And a pair, and I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, a pair of Sturmführer. Yes, Sturmführer tanks, yes. Starting to take out what might be heavy hitters. So, first thing I'm going to do is prime these pieces, of course. I'm going to do that off camera because it's chance of rain outside and it's cold. So yeah, I'm just going to be, so I'm going to do that, nice and quick. And then when I come back after the primer is all dry, we'll start on the base coat, right? So stay tuned and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back and that primer is now dry, and I'm just going to get started on the base coat. All right, so let's get to it. All right. Okay. All right. Give my paint a good shake. And as I've been doing with this whole faction, mercenary company, I should say, do the neutral gray as the base coat. Yeah, these actually both of these tanks pretty much look like conventional, modern tanks. And if you're hearing what sounds like guitar riffs in the background, well, my neighbor around the corner, he and his band are practicing. Yeah, I mean, this is nothing new. You guys have heard this before. And it don't bother me, like I've always said. It never does. I actually applaud them. I actually do like, that type of music. I've always been into heavy metal. Matter of fact, my favorite band is Iron Maiden, and I think I may have said this story once or twice, but I'll say it again, because I'm old. There was one day, I was sitting out on my back deck, and I'm listening to them play, and all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, I know that song. And I'm listening, listening even more closely now, and I'm like, that's the Trooper from Iron Maiden. And one day we actually got to talk to our neighbors from across the fence, and I looked over and I said, so which one of you guys is the drummer? Because the drummer is the one who lives there. And the guy, he looked like he was like he was getting ready for an argument or something about him playing, and he's like, that's me. And I'm like, oh yeah, so it's like, I heard you guys the other day playing the Trooper, you guys sound good. And he's like, was like totally flabbergasted that I was paying him a compliment. But they did sound good, I'll tell you that. I know I was told the name of the band, but I don't remember it. Alright. Okay, so yeah, so anyway, as I was saying in the beginning, I do have a hobby showcase on Patreon as well. So what videos like this will always be here. What I decided to put as exclusive content was the videos of me playing the games, solo. Lately, the only one I've been doing so far is Marvel Champions, And I will say this, when you're playing a game, like, you know, by yourself, the hardest thing is to resist the urge to cheat. You know, but I try to keep myself honest, because otherwise, you know, it'd be boring, especially if I'm winning all the time. However, on the flip side of that, I haven't won a game yet. So it's, I don't know. I think it's worth it to not cheat, especially if I'm going to be recording myself playing the game. Alright, so it's going a little bit faster than I thought right now, but that's good. You know, sometimes, I mean, it's not like I'm rushing it, because I don't feel like I am, but it is nice to get the painting done in a decent amount of time. Alright, one more to go. Now, I've actually been started putting up shorts with this, and now my intention is to put up the first part of the short, you know, before I even prime, but kind of forgot to do that this time. So the first part of the short is with these guys already primed, but not painted. You know, so I hope it gives the same effect, because the last one I did with the battle armor, that seemed to be quite the hit. Had over 1,100 views and something like 18 likes. I think that's the. No, actually, I don't think it's the most likes I've ever had. I think I've had in the realm of 20 once on a video, but never more than that. Paint all over my fingers. What I always say, if I got paint on my fingers, it's a good day. But I would like to touch things later, so I'm gonna wipe it. Alright, so yeah, base coat is done. Okay, so alright, so we gotta let that paint dry, and when we come back, I'm gonna do like the few details that that this mercenary company has, which is so I'm gonna do basically gunmetal on what looks like a weapon. I'm gonna do black on the, now these are treaded, you know, these treaded tanks, so I'm gonna do black on the treads, and then I'm gonna do black on the base to, you know, to make it nice and clean. And then after that, of course, is doing the base, doing the wash, and then, you know, then it's all done. But I'm getting a little too ahead of myself right now, so let's just take a break, let that paint dry, and when I come back, it's gonna be the details. So stay tuned, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back, and that base coat is now dry. At least it better be fully dry. I'm giving it plenty of time. So let's get to it. All right. There we go, and we're gonna get started. So on to the gunmetal. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so this mercenary company has been that I've been underway here, you know, that I've had underway here, I should say. It's coming out not too bad. So after this, I just got another lance of Battletechs, and then the whole thing would be ready to go. All right. I've changed my mind. I know I said I was going to do the treads on the color black, but I'm going to do it this color. Oops, I think I did too much. So yeah, as I was saying earlier, I do have a hobby showcase on the Patreon, and if you heard him, that was my son. He's up in his room. I'm gonna have to tell him that that he laughed so loud that we could hear him. And so just so you know, because it is a pretty much pay-per-view site, my son and my daughter have agreed to, on occasion, not a lot, but on occasion, be on it. So it's a bit, pretty exciting for me because I do enjoy playing these games with my kids. I mean, they're both adults, so it's not like they're actual kids, but they're my kids. So I call them kids. It'd be weird if I called them my adults. And I do enough weird things. Alright, so let's see. So yeah, one of the games that my son and I are going to play is a game called, it's a card game, Star Wars, the deck building game. And I remember when I mentioned it to him, he was like, oh yeah, I remember that game, I had a lot of fun. And I'm like, yeah, because you won. He has unbelievable, especially if it's the first time he's playing a game, he has unbelievable luck. Yeah, I know I did, say that I wouldn't talk about them much, but I figure I'm not really revealing anything too personal, and they do value their privacy, and I do respect it. Okay. So on this one here, I found that this thing here is like a turret. It actually does turn. Yeah, so every now and again you find little gems with these Battletech minis. And I'm telling you something, I've actually been enjoying, finding out, basically getting all of these sets that I use to make these forces, and some of them are actually going to be called, reinforcements. Like when I think I've mentioned when I was doing the battle armor, I was mentioning that the next one is going to be Northwind Highlanders, being that I already have 2 lances of mechs, and this was done before I had the channels. Yeah, 2 lances of should I paint the back part of this? Yeah, I think I should. At least what looks like lids. Anyway, and so like I said, when before, I basically had gotten, I believe it was the starter box for, I don't remember if it was for Clan Invasion or if it was Alpha Strike. It may have been Clan Invasion, and they had a full star for Clan Jade Falcon, but they also had, oh wait a minute, you know something? This looks like lids. Let me do it on this one first. Anyway, so as I was saying, they also had basically two lances. They had 8 battle mechs, and it was, they had them. So I basically know which one it's for because they do provide mech warrior cards for these things, so you can, actually have a bit more like an enhanced play with these sets. So anyway, they like I said, they had 2 lances for Northwind Highlanders, and like I just said, this was before I was doing the channels, so they are. I mean, those 2 lances are already painted. I did get the treads on that, right? Okay, I did. So when I do the Northwind Highlanders, I'm basically just going to say reinforcements. And that's what a lot of them are going to be, because I have been building lances for some of the factions just based on certain of the Mech Warrior cards that I have. You know, some of them I was able to actually find Mech Warriors, like you know, I was able to find 4 of them and have the mechs that they are kind of sort of attached to. So I was able to put together some lances for, you know, quite a few of the houses, you know, and also for the mercenary companies, and even some clans. I do have some clans forces put together, even with the elementals, which if I want to do any more of those, I gotta get. If I want to do any more of those clans, I gotta get some more of that. But in due time, you know, Christmas is coming, and usually nobody knows what to get me, so they give me either Amazon cards or cash. Oh, actually, hold on a sec. There's quite a bit that's. Sorry, this one here, and all of a sudden I look down, most of the gunmetal was off. Okay. Alright. I wonder why I was making a strange noise that went on crooked. Okay, oh. And there we go. Alright, now touch up the base, and then we'll let that paint dry. Okay. So yeah, so I mean, the kids do know how to play, you know, they pretty much know how to play Battletech. We did, actually, with them, I've even played the classic way. So it's just a matter of when we could arrange for these games to be played. Okay. Boy, I really hit the sides of the base a lot on this. Okay. Well, it just means I gotta give it extra time to dry before I do the labels. Okay, almost done. Well, at least with this part. Okay. Alright, so all that paint's going to have to dry now before I can go forward. And some parts of the base coat, especially down towards the actual base, was actually still a little bit wet. Alright. Okay, so we're going to let that dry. I'm going to put the labels on off camera. And remember, I mean, I only do the labels for identification, so this way I don't have to keep guessing as to what's what. It's basically just for my purposes. So I'm going to do the labels off camera, and when I come back, we're going to get the base done, and then we're going to do the wash, and it's all finished. All right, so stay tuned, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back, and that paint has been given some to dry, and I've also got the labels on, so now it's time to do the base. All right, so let's get to it, right? Okay. Let's put this down. Okay. Let's get that out of there. All right, so got a little bit on the sides. Not really going to be able to get much underneath. Oops. Although I did get some glue on the label I just put on. Well, I think it'll help it stay. Alright. I think I got a little bit too much glue on my finger there. Alright. Okay. Let's get it in there. I may eventually have to get like a little brush to brush all this stuff off the sides of the base. Whoops. Oh. And also to prevent myself from doing that again. Alright. Okay. And alright. Alright. Okay. Oops. Yeah. I don't know if it's... I don't know if I'm all of a sudden in a hurry to finish, or if it's just having a little awkward time physically here, but I seem to be knocking this thing over a lot and letting it slip from my fingers. I will say sometimes doing the base the way for like the way I do it for the Battletech units can get a little awkward at times, especially since there are plenty of times where I think the paint is totally dry and it actually isn't. Okay. See if this one goes a little bit better. A little bit better. Okay. Okay. So, I was reminiscing a little while ago. So I've been, just recently I got a chance to but I got a chance to spend some time with some family. It was at a memorial for my uncle, and I was talking with some of my cousins about the video channels, and they were looking at me saying, "When do you have the time to do all of it?" So yeah, so basically I had to just basically tell them that a lot of times my Saturdays are very, very busy with this stuff, with everything that I do. But I have a good time doing this, so I don't really consider it work. Even though it pretty much is. I mean, I am putting a lot of work into these channels, trying to get them as best as I can make them. Okay. That's enough. That's all I need for the basing. Now, let's get this stuff put away. Did I just wipe this? I think I did. I'm going to wipe it again. Alright, now, the wash. Sometimes, though, that terrain, I mean, I really like using that terrain, but sometimes it does get stuck to my fingers. That's one. All right. Yeah, so I mean, I do realize that probably a good amount of my subscribers are family and friends, but let me just say, as much as I cherish their membership, I also cherish the memberships of everybody that I do not know personally. And I always try to put together, I mean, I don't do anything scripted. That's number one. You know, for me, it's everything is, you know, basically, you know, right off, you know, like it's like just from the heart, I guess is the best way to put it. And I don't know, I felt like if I did things scripted, number one, I'd mess up a lot, and I'd have to do a lot of retakes, and two, it would just sound really fake. Whereas what I'm doing here is, you know, basically talking to all of you for real. All right, so we are done. And this force is getting close to being finished. All right. So here they are. Another Lance of tanks for the Black Remnant. Okay. So that's all I got for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, and share as much as possible. Also, please go to Tabletop Jones Productions and do the same there. And also, please check out my Patreon. You know, Kev's Hobby Showcase exclusive on Patreon. It is, I mean, there are some free videos up, but for the exclusive content, it is a $5 membership. And you know, so just you know, if you're so inclined, please give it a try. And you know, just realize that over there right now, it's all the games, all the game videos. That's all the exclusive content. So, excuse me. So anyway, next week will be the last part for this series of building my Black Remnant force. So it'll be another Lance of battle mechs, and then you'll get to see the entire unit, you know, the entire force on display. All right, so anyway, thank you again for watching. I hope you have a great day. You take care of yourself, and I will see you again.